welcome to another quick review Thursday. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with...
A dead lump of shit.
What's your name?
I'm your old pal, the Moo Cow, and I've just been lobotomized.
Yeah, old pal Paul Presenza, the Moo Cow, and unfortunately, we just watched 8 days a week. Yeah, so first of all, I have to explain why I picked this movie, and Paul thinks I'm getting back at him from all the horse shit he's put me through.
Revenge.
That wasn't originally the case, but I'm not gonna lie that I kind of enjoyed his torture, a little bit. So I had picked this movie before because I was when at first I think.
Because you like Kerry Russell, that's why.
No, actually, I didn't even know who Kerry Russell was when I got this movie. I remember renting it from the video store and watching it and thinking, it was sort of an interesting plot in a way. Like, this kid wants to stand outside and he'll wait until, this girl falls in love with him or whatever. And, I get it because at times they were talking to each other, it looked like that, whatever. But now that I'm watching it now as an old, this was when I was young, I was probably in high school when I first watched this movie, right? And so when I was in high school, I thought differently than I do now, right? Obviously. And in high school, I thought this was maybe a cute kind of movie. No. This is the cringiest movie I've seen in a long ass time. Yeah. And I hadn't seen it since I bought this years ago, but it's not one of those comedies that you can just watch over and over again, because the biggest problem is it's way too talky. It talk. And that's okay, but yet the problem with too much talky is that you have to kind of pay attention to it. And a lot of these movies deserve, American Pie was good because it had a good amount of talky and then it had a good amount of non-verbal stuff, action, whatever stuff. And it was just, it was fine. It worked well. And plus they had more interesting characters in this movie had, but it was, all in all, it was just sort of boringer, I guess, too. It was not a very interesting film. I think almost had to check on you to make sure you weren't asleep.
No, I was awake the whole time.
Oh, poor guy.
One tends to be while you're being tormented.
Yeah, he's being tortured.
No, I despised every character. I despised every scene, everything that went on. I hated everything. I couldn't wait for it to end. It was just cringeworthy, sad, and embarrassing. This is clearly the fantasy of a fat loser who never did anything and decided, well, I can get the girl in my dreams by creating the ultimate fantasy, and it's just sad.
And it's pretty pathetic of a movie.
It's appalling.
Now, his other movies, 100 Girls, 100 Women, I guess I'm going to have to wait to torture him on that, because I don't think, or maybe I'll have to find somebody else to watch it with, because he won't watch it probably.
It's the last Mike Davis movie I've ever seen.
But this is the last Michael Davis. I told him there was a Clive, I think it was Clive Owen movie that he had done.
I hate Clive Owen.
And then there was
or Owen Wilson. That's what I hate.
No, Owen Wilson is a completely different person.
Yeah, it is.
Clive Owen is an action star, and so there was an action movie he did, and then there was a horror movie called Monster Man, and then he had done also, Michael Davis, the director, had also done this, 100 Girls and 100 Women. And 100 Girls and 100 Women were similar, kind of in the same talky vibe, where the main protagonist will tend to just talk about to the audience, things that are going on, things that he notices. Remember the scene where he said the breasts are like tractor beams,
the camera just pans at her nipples for just constantly over.
So there's a lot of cringy things, and then the fact that these are still high school kids supposedly, that also kind of makes the cringe factor a little bit more.
You suck.
I mean, even though they're obviously older than high school, they're probably in their 20s, but still.
So much more appreciation for Neil Breen.
Yeah. So Joshua Schaefer stars in this movie. Kerry Russell stars in this movie. Poor Kerry Russell. Yeah, we were both like, oh my god. This is, I believe, so this was put out in 1997, I believe, but beforehand, I think it was made in 95 or 94, and then it probably sat on the Warner Brothers shelves for a little bit until Kerry Russell blew up in I want to say 96, 97. Then they were like, oh, we got a Kerry Russell movie, let's put that out so that, we can market it toward people who want to watch. And I mean, it almost has Catherine Hicks's breasts, and that was probably before. I want to say that was before Seventh Heaven, so I'm sure after this movie came out, Catherine Hicks's agents were unhappy. They're like, no, she's supposed to be a Christian mother character. Speaking of Christians.
Oh yeah, and I was saying, and I am not a Christian person. I don't particularly care for it. However, I was offended on their behalf of their depiction in this film.
It was just an over-exaggeration.
Everything was. The whole thing was a worthless cartoon. It was garbage.
Yeah. So then there's R.D. Robb, who I believe, if I'm correct, he is the director of Dawn's Plum, which we did. And and he's also in like Christmas Story and stuff like that.
Right.
But he has the most annoying character. Just keeps popping up. At one point, Paul looks over at me and was like, why does this guy just keep coming over here?
Why are they still friends? Why?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Because they're both losers. Both characters are losers. I don't, and I hate saying that because, like, in my heart of heart, I wanted to like Joshua Schaefer. Like, you want to like the main guy that you're following.
I really don't.
But Peter is such a douchebag. And he claims, oh, I'm just in the friend zone. Dude, no. There's no such thing as a friend zone. Friend zones don't exist. People have got to get this out of their head. People think, oh, I'm too nice. No, you're an asshole. Leave this chick alone. You get her at the end because the writer did it. Not this in real life. This is a fantasy. This is all is just a big ass fantasy.
14-year-old's fantasy.
Yes, if you know anything about this movie, know that it ends with them with him winning. Not real. That would never happen. The girl, in fact,
nothing in this movie.
Nothing in this movie. Those parents would have called the cops and had a restraining order on this guy, because even back in the 90s, that would not have happened. It's not appropriate to be sitting out front. And on top of that, how does he get fed? How does he eat? How does he? Because he did this a whole summer. That's 3 months of him sitting out there by himself. Like, none of it makes any sense. They try to explain that No-No would bring him out, and then No-No died. They killed off the one guy who was helping him out. And, oh, God.
That gave me a little bit of joy, I'll admit.
Because, yeah, he didn't like No-No either.
Didn't like any of them.
Yeah.
They all need to suffer and burn and just, and be destroyed in hell.
Oh, man, there was so much shit that was just terrible. And
this is the single worst movie Moody's ever shown me. Easily. Blew it away.
And you know what's funny? Like I said before, I did not think, like, when I was going to show it to you, right? Even up to, I was like, he's probably not going to like it, but he might not.
I was a little worried. I don't like most rom-coms because they're usually typically bubble-headed and stupid, but this is a whole new level.
Like, this is completely a whole new level.
This makes American Pie look like Shakespeare.
Definitely. Like, American Pie took notes on how bad this was and just went a step above.
I mean, I didn't like American Pie either, but it was a lot better.
Yeah,
it was better in pretty much all fronts, but I don't know.
It was a more fun movie. But this movie was not fun.
No, it was just so cringy.
It was cringy, yeah, and it was very it was just like it was trying so hard to be funny. And I can get it, like, this is somebody's first movie. So Michael Davis's first feature, and I enjoyed the low budget, film aspect of it. Like, basically, mainly it was just in one yard, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, wow, holy crap, they made a
except
movie
for the
like
mansion where the pool was built.
Yeah, the guy decided to build a pool, like. I don't buy that he would have had all the tools. And you know what I mean? Like,
he's taking out 2 little trash bags. That's I guess supposed to be the dirt.
I guess that was supposed to be
Ridiculous.
dirt. But, like, why would he put them in the trunk of his car? And, like, some of it just didn't actually make any
It's
sense.
supposed to be secret, I guess.
I guess, because then that lady was like, don't do it. And I guess she was trying to tell him, don't build the pool in your house.
Right.
And that was the best advice that he probably should have got. But he decided to do it because they couldn't go to Tahiti. So he wanted to build one in his own fucking apartment. I don't know. Or house. I don't know. It was ridiculous. That was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of stupid shit.
I can't think of a single thing in this movie that wasn't stupid.
No.
There wasn't one.
No. Like,
not one.
Yeah, and another stupid thing was the fucking boyfriend of Erica's, played by Johnny Green. I want to say his name was. Real quick. I think his name was Johnny Green.
Yeah, Johnny Green.
Johnny Green, and he was okay of a actor, like the guy who played him. Like, all right, I will say this: they had good actors.
Yeah, I had no problem with the actors.
Yeah, like they had good
not
actors.
their fault.
Even Joshua Schaefer, the main guy, I've never really seen him in other stuff, but like he's playing an annoying character. Like he did a good job. Mark Taylor, who we see in a bunch of shit, you noticed him and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He was great. Patrick O'Brien, who was Erica's father, who's in Airborne. He was the uncle in Airborne that he stays with in Minnesota or whatever. You know, he was in also Saved by the Bell. That's how I know he's Mr. Dewey in Saved by the Bell. And so when I saw him there, I was like, oh my God, Patrick. You know, and he's in these movies like Airborne.
Right.
They're sort of indie / not. You know, they're sort of trying to be more mainstream and everything, and they're still sort of indie.
Yeah, it wasn't the actors' fault. They did the best they could, but
they did the best they could.
Awful.
But yeah, the movie was just.
I bet
terrible.
Kerry Russell does not talk about this film to anyone.
I bet she wishes that we wouldn't review it.
Sorry, Kerry.
Kerry, we gotta warn people. Don't watch it. And you know, it's funny. I was telling Paul before that I was really excited to have this disc because it's out of print, and now we know why. It's
So
out of
happy.
print because after a while nobody wanted to print this anymore. They're like, nope, nobody wants to see it.
Aimed at teenagers. But I tell you, man, as a teenager, I would have hated this. So.
Well, you're a little bit different of a teen. You know, you're a
true.
teenager in what, the 70s, 80s?
No. Jesus.
80s.
Mid 80s. Thank you very much.
I was just joking with you, but you've kind of become a grumpy old man.
I have.
That's why I was saying.
I was
70s.
a grumpy old man from the beginning. So yeah.
Yeah. So in the 70s, you would have been a grumpy, or 60s.
I was a kid.
80s.
I was a little tiny kid in diapers
in the 70s. Oh Lord, that's funny. Yeah, it's just those kind of movies.
If you're gonna do a cartoon, be the Three Stooges or Bugs Bunny. You know.
Yeah.
That's at least fun.
Yeah, I mean, or at least have some interesting shit happening. Like, really, it would cut to like a lot of visuals of like, especially that whole obnoxious like his character Italy version of himself or whatever, from the like I don't know 40s or something, and he's like holding black and white, holding up, you know, and everything.
With the fake
just
mustache.
like so fake mustache. It's just so annoying. It's like, dude, stop this. I don't care about what's going on here. Like, moving along.
Well, I couldn't wait for the movie to end.
Yeah,
So bad.
And this is like one of the first movies that like I've shown Paul that Paul shows me a lot that I cringe and think, oh my God, what the fuck. Now I feel bad because now he's gonna want to get me back, you know, and shit. I don't know. I think you do that a lot more than I ever do to you. So
it's true.
Whatever.
It's true.
You know, just.
But I mean, even friends I know who like, you know, Just Jen loves rom-coms, and some other people I know love rom-coms. They're not gonna like this.
Not gonna like this. This is a movie that couldn't be made today for sure.
No.
There's a lot of shit in it that was inappropriate,
Cringy.
Super
cringy.
I don't know. Just things you couldn't do today, especially the underage shit that was going on a lot. Talking about sex with, I mean, they did that with American Pie. American Pie was virgins, whatever, you know, dealing with geeks who were trying to that was better written than this.
I don't remember, honestly, but I'm assuming it was.
You're going to just assume it was because anything could be better than this, I would hope.
I mean, I remember seeing it. I just don't remember much other than Allison Hannigan.
Yeah, you liked her.
Yeah.
Bandcamp girl. That's how she's remembered more than she's remembered for Willow.
Oh, that's a shame. And even more than How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, yeah. How I Met Your Mother, she barely ever... Like, the only thing they say about that is, like, they want a relationship like her and Jason Segel's character, Marshall. Anyway, go back to this stinker of a movie, which, once again, I did not think it was going to be that... I remember actually liking it. And I think maybe back when I was a kid, I was very... And still to this day...
It just goes to show you how your tastes change as you get older.
I'll say even today, I will forgive a lot of shit. As long as it's interesting and entertaining, I will forgive shit. This movie was unfunny. And that goes, yeah, my taste might have changed. My humor may have changed. And so I might have, like, thought this was funny in the past. But then again, I go back to a lot of movies that I watched. Billy Madison, Jim Carrey movies, things like that. I still laugh at those. I still find them funny. This, I barely laughed at. Like, it was unfunny. It was based on a Beatles song, apparently, or whatever, which they didn't use. They never used the Beatles. However, they did talk about the Beatles, which, obviously, it was really funny because he had mentioned it was based on a Beatles song, and then you said something like, it should have been called Escaping the Friend Zone, which... would have been a better title, honestly, than 8 Days a Week.
Well, that's coming from a period where every Hollywood film that came out was named after a popular song in order to, get the kids interested. And
well, the kids know I don't even know that song.
Oh, sure it is. It's played all over the radio. I mean, it's all that shit was played all over the radio because that's part of Hollywood is to just play you the same shit because they're trying to sell you stuff.
I don't remember that song, but I don't really listen to radio. So.
I never listen to radio.
Yeah, but anyway, no, I didn't know that was based on Beatles song. And then they mentioned the Beatles in the movie and stuff, and then she's talking about James Bond and how she likes Roger Moore better, which I'm just like thinking. So this is a dude who wrote this movie, probably has had these talks with people and it's bothered him, so he just put him into a movie. That's what I think. Like everything that he talks about. All the sex shit, all the different stuff is the stuff he and his friends would joke about or something, or whatever, talk about or whatnot.
I think it's very telling that he was talking about, I don't want to be some jerk who goes off to college and gets an education. Yeah, some jerk. So that's what people who go to college and get educations are. They're jerks.
They're jerks. They're idiots. Oh, and then at the end he goes off to college. I'm like, yep. Because he was like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, he's going off to college. I called it, and I hadn't seen it in forever.
But our hero's not, because why would he go off to college? That's what jerks do. That's what jerks and losers do.
No, he didn't say that. The other guy said it, though.
No, I know, but that's what the implication is.
Oh. But...
saving her from going off to college.
I don't know. Like, she was going off to college. I don't know what happened. We don't even know. We don't even find out really what happens to their relationship after they have sex.
I'm so thankful about that.
But just because that would have added more to the story, and you would have been... annoyed.
Hated this movie. Hated it.
At least it was only 93 minutes, or so. Like that's
93 minutes of hell.
Yeah, I mean that's better than some of the movies we've been watching. Where there's just like
Neil Breen, don't let anybody tell you make the worst movies ever, please. You're the man.
Oh man, I almost feel like you need to watch another Michael Davis movie now after that comment. I don't know. Not all his movies are like this. I'm telling you, he did a horror film and he did a action movie. So I think the action movie will be something more along the lines of what you might get a kick out of. I don't know. You never know. Dude, this might have been his first real flop thing, like where you just don't like, you know what I mean? You gotta give Michael Davis a second shot, but let's not do the comedies because obviously they're not that good to you, so move on to something, Monster Man, or you might do action better or horror better. I don't know. Michael Davis, just don't make 9 days a week,
yes,
or
please.
whatever. Just don't continue this one. Now he's gonna make it because we told him not to. Because if you tell somebody not to do the thing, what do?
Well, no, he's not going to do that. But what he'll do is he'll dig this thing up and release it on a Blu-ray. And...
No, because Warner Brothers owns it.
No, good.
They'll have to do that.
Burn it.
You know, maybe they will. I mean, actually, they probably won't, because this is once again, this is not a movie that would favor well today.
No,
you know, this is a movie
not.
that would get a lot of bad attention.
And it sucks, you know. Even if you loved it and you wrote it off to them, they're not going to do it. I mean, I wrote off to get to Rhino. I got a hold of Rhino and I asked them if please set out redo the Blu-ray version of Rock and Roll Wrestling Women versus the Aztec Mummy. And they sent back and they said they weren't going to do it.
Well, I mean, that they said that?
Yeah.
They actually said no?
They had no plans on releasing that anytime basically.
I mean, it's just because there's no call for it, or?
They didn't go into detail, but it's sad.
I mean,
because that movie's so much more fun.
Yeah, but it's still bad. I mean, you know,
but it's fun.
Right, it's more fun. It's more fun, bad movie. That's the thing, you know. But you did show me Acting Maximus, which was not a fun bad movie and stuff.
I have been saving some of the worst stuff from you. So Nick Zed, here we come.
Oh, you fucker. Anyway, yeah. So I decided this was going to be for Quick Review Thursday.
Weasels rip my flesh. Here we come.
Because I figured Quick Review Thursday was a better sort of thing for this than Indie Film Cafe. Because I don't think we could talk an hour about this movie.
Guru the Mad Monk. Here we come.
But we could talk. We could talk 20 minutes or so about this movie and
definitely
and give it a review.
Yeah, no. All seriousness aside, this was just the way.
All seriousness aside?
Yeah.
I think you meant all non-serious, you know, like goofiness aside.
It just was not a movie for me, and I don't know that a lot of people who even like rom-coms are gonna love this.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like Jen, I think Jen would be cringing and. Remember, we watched Weird Science, which is sort of, I mean, it's a comedy.
You know who might find it funny because she's a weird duck is your buddy who likes the weird bad movies sometimes, but only certain ones. Jackie.
No, she wouldn't like this movie.
She wouldn't like it.
It would be it's too talking, too boring. She would hate it.
So all your friends hate
yeah,
this film.
I think everybody would hate this film. Dustin might like it. I don't know.
Oh,
I
dear.
think I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But like, because he likes these kind of really bad, cheesy, you know. But I don't know. I'll have to tell him if he hasn't seen it in a while. He needs to rewatch it and tell us what he thinks because it's pretty shitty.
1313 Bigfoot Island. Here we come.
I could live with that more than I could live with this. I don't know. I own this movie. I'll be happy to own it because it is out of print and it's hard to get. I don't think I'll be watching this anytime soon again, and I'm kind of sad about that because I do remember liking it back in the day and thinking, oh man, this would be something I'd love to watch again. Not now.
It happens.
Sometimes you just outgrow movies, man. You know, your tastes change and you change.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything that movie taught me, it's time will time will change and things.
Well, you have a better appreciation for what's funny, I think.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you don't know as much. You know.
And I'm very easily to laugh. You know, like if something's even remotely funny, I'll laugh at it. You know, I like dad jokes and shit. This didn't have anything remotely funny, really. Mm-hmm. I like it was just talk, and it was supposed to be funny, you know, and shit. But the humor was so bland and boring and just terrible.
It was rough. It was a rough one.
I don't know.
I survived somehow.
I survived too.
I ate my fruit snacks.
I know you survived, but that's it. That's all we can say about this movie. We survived. We survived 8 days a week. Thankfully, we didn't have to watch it for 8 days a week.
And I never have to see it again.
Doesn't have to see it again. So there you go.
That makes me happy just thinking about it.
It's over. It's
over.
Done. The torture is done.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Well, I'm glad you watched it. Glad you reviewed it. I'm glad you guys all got to hear us kind of talk shit about it. Because, I mean, look, it's a terrible movie. Like, if you haven't seen it, don't.
It's got a
you don't have to.
6.2 on the Internet Movie Database.
We don't even know how that.
Lies.
No, I think that's because back then, you know, when the first it was getting going, the Internet Movie Database,
Lies.
people actually did like this movie.
Ugh,
I don't know why.
what a box of shit.
Yeah. Well, if you like the movie, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you might need to.
Taste.
You might have to go get some therapy. I don't know. But if you didn't like the movie like us, you understand what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't seen the movie and listened to our review, don't watch it. Don't. Like, this is one of the first times where we'll say this on the show. You don't have to watch this movie.
There's very rare times when I'll say a movie.
I will say, though, if you do find it out in the wild, get it, because it is out of print. And you could probably sell it for some really good money.
Or set it on fire. Works just as well.
Yeah. Set it on fire. Either way. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Doom, gloom, death, destruction.